Many people in America over the age of 60 start their mornings with a warm bowl of oatmeal. It is comforting, familiar, and often recommended for heart health, stable blood sugar, and better digestion. But here is something most people never hear. More than 80% of seniors are making simple mistakes with oatmeal that quietly erase its benefits. If this sounds familiar, do not worry. These habits are incredibly easy to correct. The bowl you believe is helping your heart, your energy, and your gut might actually be pushing your blood sugar higher, slowing your metabolism, or leaving your muscles undernourished without you realizing it. The good news is that these mistakes are incredibly easy to fix once you know what to look for. Today, I want to guide you through the 10 most common oatmeal habits that take this superfood in the wrong direction and show you the science behind each one. When you understand what oatmeal truly needs and what your body needs as you age, everything becomes clearer. With just a few small changes, your morning bowl can transform into a food that supports your heart, keeps your blood sugar steady, strengthens your muscles, and helps you stay active and independent for years to come. Before we get started, take a moment to subscribe to Medic so you never miss practical science-based guidance you can use every day. And let me know in the comments how you usually prepare your oatmeal, because the way you make it matters more than you might think. When oatmeal is prepared the right way, it truly earns its place as one of the most valuable foods for older adults. A single bowl is packed with essential nutrients that the aging body depends on every day. Oats are naturally rich in magnesium, which helps your muscles and nerves function smoothly. They provide iron, which carries oxygen throughout your body and keeps your energy up. They supply zinc, one of the key minerals your immune system relies on to stay strong. And they offer B vitamins that support your metabolism, your skin, and even your brain function. This nutrient density is one of the reasons oatmeal can be such a powerful start to the day without loading your body with unnecessary calories. But the real star inside oatmeal is beta-glucan. Here is the part many people overlook. This special type of soluble fiber forms a gentle gel in your digestive tract, and that simple action has an extraordinary impact on your health. It helps reduce LDL cholesterol and supports healthier arteries, which is especially important as we get older. Beta-glucan also slows the absorption of glucose, giving your body more stable blood sugar control throughout the morning. Instead of sharp spikes and drops that leave you tired and hungry, you get steady energy that supports clear thinking and movement. Here is something many people never expect. Oatmeal also nourishes the gut in ways many people do not realize. The fiber inside oats feeds the beneficial bacteria that live in your digestive system. These microbes help reduce inflammation, improve digestion, and strengthen immunity from the inside out. When your gut is supported, everything from metabolism to mood improves. Another reason oatmeal works so well is its ability to help with weight management. The combination of fiber and slow digestion keeps you full longer, making it easier to avoid overeating or snacking on high-calorie foods later in the day. For many people in their 60s and 70s, maintaining a stable, healthy weight is one of the most important steps for protecting long-term health. Here is something almost no one talks about, and there is yet another benefit hidden inside oats. They contain a unique group of antioxidants called enthramides. These compounds help relax blood vessels, calm inflammation, and protect your cells from oxidative stress. In simple terms, they help your body age more gracefully. When you combine all of these advantages, it becomes clear why oatmeal is considered a superfood. But it also highlights why small mistakes can disrupt the entire chain of benefits. If your oatmeal is prepared the wrong way, you may not get the magnesium or zinc your body needs. You may not absorb the beta-glucan effectively. You may lose the blood sugar stabilizing effects or even push your glucose in the opposite direction. Understanding the real science behind oats helps you see why every detail matters. The first mistake many people make with oatmeal is adding too much sugar. This often happens without realizing it. A teaspoon here, a drizzle there, a little maple syrup, or a handful of dried fruit. Some people even add flavored creamer to sweeten the bowl. It feels harmless, but once that added, sugar hits your bloodstream early in the morning. Your glucose begins to climb sharply. For someone in their 60s or 70s, that spike can be even more dramatic because the body becomes less efficient at processing sudden waves of sugar with age. What happens next is something I've seen repeatedly in my patients. I remember one patient in her 70s who had been adding maple syrup to her oats for years. Her glucose levels looked calm on paper, but her energy crashed every morning. Once she removed the extra sugar, she felt steady for the first time in a long while. The blood sugar rises quickly, then crashes. That crash is what leaves you tired, unfocused, and craving more food only an hour or two after breakfast. Instead of steady energy, you start the day in a roller coaster pattern that affects your brain, your metabolism, and even your appetite throughout the afternoon. Over time, these sugar spikes can contribute to insulin resistance and increase the risk of type 2 diabetes, a condition far more common in older adults than most people realize. But there is another layer to this issue. When you add sugar to your oatmeal, you override the natural sweetness of the oats themselves. Oats contain subtle flavors that come forward when they are prepared properly, and when you give your taste buds a chance to adjust, those flavors become surprisingly satisfying. Relying on added sugar suppresses that experience and trains the palate to expect sweetness rather than nourishment. The solution is simple. Let the oatmeal speak for itself. Add sweetness from natural sources like berries, bananas, or apples if you need it. These bring fiber, antioxidants, and vitamins along with flavor supporting your body instead of overwhelming it. When you shift away from added sugars, the benefits of oatmeal become clearer and more powerful. Your blood sugar stays steadier, your energy lasts longer, and your morning routine becomes something that truly supports your health rather than working against it. The second mistake many people make is choosing flavored instant oatmeal packets because they seem quick and convenient. I completely understand the appeal. You tear it open, add hot water, and breakfast is done. But what most people do not realize is what is hiding inside those little packets. When you take a closer look at the label, you will often find far more sugar than oats. Some packets contain the equivalent of 4 or 5 teaspoons of added sugar, and that is before you add anything else to your bowl. For someone trying to support heart health or manage blood sugar, that turns your breakfast into the very thing you were trying to avoid. These packets often contain preservatives and artificial flavors. Some even include hydrogenated oils or high levels of sodium. All of these ingredients work against the natural strength of oatmeal. Instead of calming inflammation in the body, these additives can quietly fuel it. And when inflammation becomes chronic, it affects your blood vessels, your joints, your metabolism, and even your immune system. What looks like a warm, comforting breakfast can actually nudge the body toward the very problems you are trying to prevent. Another issue is texture and fiber content. Instant oats are processed more heavily, which means they digest faster and raise your blood sugar more quickly. They may taste sweet and familiar, but they do not give you the steady, sustained energy that regular oats do. Many people tell me they feel hungry soon after eating the flavored packets, and that is exactly what we would expect when the meal is high in added sugars and low in natural structure. The solution is to return to simplicity. Choose plain rolled oats or steel-cut oats. These give you full control over what goes into your breakfast. You can add fresh fruit for sweetness, cinnamon for warmth, a splash of vanilla for flavor, or a handful of nuts for texture and healthy fats. When you build your oatmeal this way, you allow the food to support your heart, your energy, and your blood sugar the way it was meant to. The body responds beautifully when we give it clean, unprocessed nourishment, and oatmeal is one of the best places to begin. The third mistake many people make with oatmeal is leaving out protein. It is easy to understand why this happens. Oatmeal feels wholesome. It fills the bowl, and it gives the impression of a complete meal on its own. But from a nutritional standpoint, oatmeal is mostly carbohydrates and fiber. If you eat it by itself, especially first thing in the morning, your body digests it quickly and sends a wave of glucose into your bloodstream. Without protein to slow that process down, your blood sugar rises faster than you may realize. For older adults, this matters even more. As we age, the muscles become more sensitive to how we balance protein and carbohydrates. A breakfast without protein can leave your muscles undernourished. This makes it harder to maintain strength, mobility, and independence. Many seniors tell me they feel hungry again shortly after eating oatmeal alone. One of my patients, a retired teacher in her early 70s, felt this every morning. She ate oatmeal faithfully, but still felt weak by mid-morning. Adding a little protein changed her entire day. That is the natural response of the body looking for balance. Without protein, your insulin level spikes, your energy dips, and you start craving something else to keep you going. there is also an important long-term concern. When the morning pattern repeats day after day, losing muscle mass becomes easier and regaining it becomes harder. Protein is essential for maintaining healthy metabolism, stable blood sugar, and the ability to stay active. Without it, even the healthiest carbohydrate can push the body out of equilibrium. The good news is that the fix is incredibly simple. You can add just a little protein and transform the entire meal. A spoonful of chia seeds, a handful of almonds, a scoop of Greek yogurt, or even a boiled egg on the side can slow digestion, keep your energy steady, and help protect your muscle tissue. When you pair protein with your oatmeal, the body absorbs the meal more gently. You feel satisfied longer, your mood stays more stable, and your body gets what it truly needs to thrive throughout the day. The fourth mistake is eating too much oatmeal in one sitting. This often happens with good intentions. Oatmeal feels healthy, comforting, and gentle on the stomach, so it is easy to believe that a bigger bowl must be even better. Many people scoop in extra oats and add generous toppings. Before they know it, the portion is far larger than the body needs. But here is the challenge. Even healthy foods can work against you when the portion becomes too big. Oatmeal already contains a high amount of fiber, and when you eat a large bowl, that fiber can sit heavily in the digestive tract. For many older adults, this leads to bloating, sluggish digestion, or even discomfort that can last for hours. Your body needs time to process fiber properly, and overwhelming it at once can make your morning feel heavier instead of energized. There is also the question of calories. When you add nut butter, dried fruit, honey, or nuts on top of too much oatmeal, you can unknowingly build a breakfast that has as many calories as a fast food meal. Because oatmeal is seen as a clean food, most people never think to question the portion size. And if this sounds like your routine, please know you are not alone. This happens to almost everyone. Yet, this pattern can contribute to weight gain over time, even when you feel like you are doing everything right. Another concern is nutrient balance. A large bowl of oats creates a meal dominated by carbohydrates. If you eat too much at once, you leave less room for the protein, healthy fats, and vitamins your body needs to keep your muscles strong and your metabolism steady. Older adults especially benefit from balanced meals that support energy throughout the day, not meals that weigh the body down. The solution is simple and surprisingly satisfying. Start with about half a cup of dry oats. Once cooked, they expand into a warm, filling portion that is just right for most adults. When you add fresh fruit, a few nuts, or a small portion of protein, you get a complete meal that nourishes without overwhelming. The goal is not to eat more oatmeal. It is to use oatmeal in the right amount so your body feels light, steady, and supported long after breakfast. The fifth mistake is skipping the simple step of soaking oats before eating them. Most people look at oats and think they are already clean, already soft, already ready to cook. But there is something important happening inside those tiny grains. Oats naturally contain a compound called phytic acid. It is not harmful, but it does have a tendency to bind to minerals like iron, zinc, and calcium. If you regularly eat oats without soaking them or preparing them properly, your body may absorb fewer of the minerals you believe you are getting from your breakfast. This becomes even more important as we age. Many older adults already struggle with lower levels of iron or zinc, which are essential for energy, immunity, and healthy muscle function. When phytic acid remains high, the body has to work harder to take in what it needs. Over time, your oatmeal may look healthy on the outside, but quietly limits some of the benefits you expect. Soaking helps solve this problem in a natural, gentle way. And when you soak oats for several hours, especially overnight, you give enzymes inside the grain time to break down some of the phytic acid. This makes the minerals more available for absorption once the oats are cooked and eaten. It also softens the texture, making the oats easier for the digestive system to handle, which is a significant benefit for older adults who may experience slower digestion. Another advantage is comfort. Soaked oats cook faster, digest more smoothly, and are less likely to cause bloating. If you have ever felt unexpectedly heavy or gassy after oatmeal, soaking could make a noticeable difference in how your body responds. And the process is incredibly simple. Just place the oats in water or plant-based milk, cover the bowl, and let it rest in the refrigerator overnight. When you wake up, most of the work is already done for you. By taking this small step, you unlock more of the nutrition inside the oats and give your body a better chance to absorb exactly what it needs. It is a subtle change, but the benefits accumulate, especially when oatmeal is part of your daily routine. Now let's move to another issue that affects digestion even more. The sixth mistake is eating undercooked oats. Many people stop cooking as soon as the oats begin to soften, thinking they are ready. But underneath that slightly chewy texture, the oats are still harder for the digestive system to break down. Oats contain beta-glucan, the powerful soluble fiber known for helping lower cholesterol and stabilize blood sugar. But when oats are not fully cooked, this fiber does not dissolve or activate properly. Instead of forming the gentle gel that supports heart health and digestion, it stays too dense, which makes your stomach work much harder. For many older adults, this can lead to discomfort after breakfast. You may notice bloating, pressure in the abdomen, or a feeling that the meal is sitting heavy. These symptoms are not from the oats themselves, but from the body trying to handle fiber that is not softened enough. Undercooked oats also reduce the absorption of important nutrients like iron and magnesium because the grain has not opened enough for the body to access what is inside. Cooking your oats fully allows the starches and fibers to break down gently. The texture becomes creamy and smooth, which is easier for your digestive tract to handle. It also helps your body receive the full benefit of the beta-glucan that supports your heart and blood sugar. If you prefer using a microwave, adding a bit more water and stirring between intervals helps ensure the oats cook evenly instead of drying out at the edges and staying firm in the center. Fully cooked oats give you a bowl that nourishes without stressing your system. You feel lighter, more comfortable, and better supported throughout the morning. This is a small detail, but it can make a big difference in how your body responds to your breakfast each day. The seventh mistake is cooking oats for too long. This may seem like the safest option, especially if you want a very soft texture, but overcooking actually works against the benefits you are trying to get from your breakfast. When oats are boiled until they lose all structure and become overly mushy, the fiber begins to break down. And once that happens, the benefits weaken. This leads to faster digestion, which means your blood sugar can rise more quickly instead of staying steady. The very quality that makes oats so helpful for glucose control becomes less effective when the texture is overworked. There is also a nutritional cost. Some of the B vitamins inside oats are sensitive to prolonged heat. When they are exposed to high temperatures for too long, their levels decrease, and your body receives fewer of the nutrients needed for energy and metabolism. For older adults who rely on these vitamins to support brain and nerve function, this gentle nutrient loss matters more than you might think. Another effect of overcooking is the way it influences hunger later in the day. Oats that are too broken down pass through the digestive system faster, which means you may feel hungry sooner. You might reach for extra snacks because the meal did not keep you full. Many people assume they need larger portions, but in reality, they simply need a better texture that allows the oats to digest at the right pace. The goal is to cook oats until they are tender, but still alive with a bit of texture. That balance helps preserve nutrients, maintain the slow, steady release of glucose, and give you a more enjoyable eating experience. When cooked properly, oatmeal feels creamy, warm, and satisfying without collapsing into a paste. This small adjustment supports your blood sugar, your metabolism, and your comfort throughout the morning. The eighth mistake is using the wrong liquid when cooking oatmeal. Many people start by pouring milk directly into the pot because they want a creamy texture. It feels natural and familiar, but cooking oats in milk from the beginning can actually change the way the meal behaves in your body. Milk contains proteins that react with the starch in oats when heated. As these components combine under high temperature, the mixture becomes thick, sticky, and heavy, making the oatmeal less pleasant to eat and harder for your digestive system to handle. For many older adults, this sticky texture can lead to bloating or discomfort after breakfast, not because of the oats themselves, but because the starch and protein have bonded in a way that slows down digestion. Another issue is nutrient preservation. When milk is exposed to prolonged heat, some of its natural nutrients are degraded, and you lose part of what makes milk or plant-based milk valuable in the first place. Instead of supporting your body, the meal becomes less nutritious without you realizing it. There's a simple method that respects the structure of the oats and the nutrients in the milk. Cook your oats in water first. Water allows the oats to soften evenly, release their natural starches, and create the creamy texture you want without becoming overly thick. Once the oats are fully cooked and tender, you can gently stir in milk or a milk alternative. This preserves flavor, protects nutrients, and gives you a smoother, more enjoyable bowl. This small shift makes a remarkable difference. Your oatmeal becomes lighter, more digestible, and far more nutritious. It also helps stabilize your blood sugar because the texture remains balanced rather than gluelle-like. Your body responds better, your stomach feels more comfortable, and you get the best of both worlds. Properly cooked oats and the richness of milk added at the right moment. The ninth mistake is skipping salt when cooking oatmeal. Many people avoid salt because they want their breakfast to be as healthy as possible, and for good reason. But with oatmeal, a tiny pinch of salt used the right way can actually elevate the entire meal. Without it, oats taste flat, muted, and a little dull. No matter how many toppings you add later, the natural flavor of oats needs just a touch of salt to open up and become balanced. It is similar to how a small amount of salt makes fruit taste sweeter or brings out the richness in vegetables. For older adults who are watching their sodium intake, this might sound surprising, but a pinch used in this way is far safer than people imagine. But the key is moderation. A pinch of salt in the cooking water is not the same as pouring salt on top of your food. When salt dissolves at the beginning of cooking, it spreads evenly throughout the oats, enhancing flavor without raising the sodium level significantly. This means you enjoy a more satisfying bowl without needing extra sugar or artificial flavorings to compensate for blandness. Skipping salt often leads people to unintentionally add more sweeteners, more syrup, or more toppings to make the bowl taste better. That pattern quietly increases calories and pushes blood sugar higher than expected. By allowing a pinch of salt to do its job, you avoid those unnecessary additions and help your oatmeal stay balanced and nourishing. When prepared this way, oatmeal tastes fuller and more complete, and you feel more content after eating it. Flavor matters more than people realize, especially as we get older and rely on meals that support energy, stability, and digestion. A small pinch of salt added at the right moment can transform your oatmeal from something you tolerate into something you truly enjoy. And this next mistake is one I see more often than any other. The 10th mistake is relying solely on oatmeal as your main source of nutrition. Oatmeal is an excellent food. It is rich in fiber, minerals, antioxidants, and it supports your heart, your digestion, and your blood sugar. But even the best food cannot meet every nutritional need on its own. When someone eats oatmeal every morning and depends on it as a centerpiece of their diet, important nutrients begin to slip through the cracks. Oatmeal does not provide enough high-quality protein to maintain strong muscles as you age. It also contains very little healthy fat, which your brain, hormones, and nerves rely on. And it lacks key nutrients like vitamin B12, highly absorbable iron from animal sources, and omega-3 fatty acids. Over time, these gaps can lead to low energy, slower metabolism, weakened immunity, and even memory concerns. Many older adults start to feel tired or weaker without realizing their diet has become too limited. Your body needs variety to thrive. When you pair oatmeal with foods like Greek yogurt, nuts, eggs, berries, or even a side of lean protein, you create a balanced breakfast that supports every system in your body. And when your other meals include vegetables, whole grains, legumes, and healthy sources of protein and fat, you complete the picture. Oatmeal becomes the foundation, not the entire structure. I often remind my patients that a single food, even a superfood, was never meant to carry the full load. Your heart, your muscles, your brain, and your gut all need different nutrients. And when you give them that diversity, you feel stronger, clearer, and more resilient. Oatmeal can absolutely be part of a healthy routine, but it works best when it is surrounded by other foods that fill in the gaps and help your body function at its highest level. Now that you understand the most common mistakes, let me show you how to build a bowl of oatmeal that truly supports your health. The foundation is choosing plain oats. Rolled oats or steel-cut oats give you the most nutrition without unnecessary additives. These forms of oats keep their natural fiber and structure, which is exactly what your heart, your digestion, and your blood sugar respond well to. When you start with plain oats, you decide what goes into your breakfast, which means you stay in control of the flavor and the nutrition. The next step is how you cook them. Begin with water. Cooking oats in water allows them to soften naturally and release their beneficial beta-glucan without becoming heavy or sticky. Once the oats have finished cooking and the texture is creamy and tender, you can add milk or a milk alternative. Doing it this way protects the nutrients in the milk and creates a smooth, rich bowl that feels comforting without being gluey or dense. This simple two-step approach makes a noticeable difference in how your body digests the meal and how steady your energy feels afterward. To turn your oatmeal into a more complete breakfast, add a source of protein. This is especially important for adults in their 60s and beyond. Protein slows the absorption of carbohydrates, keeps blood sugar stable, and supports muscle.